Hello, grade 9. How are you today? I hope you're all fine. I will be your biology teacher for this year. My name is Fatima Abdallah. We will be taking 2 sessions per week, and this is our first session. So, today we will start with revising digestion. You took digestion in grade 7, and this session is just for you to remember what you have taken in grade 7. So hopefully the next session we will continue or we will start with our new chapter. Okay, so as a first, let's start with the definition of digestion. What is digestion? Digestion, it's a process and it is done by the digestive system. So digestion is the breaking down of food. Okay, so imagine you have a big rock and you break it into smaller pieces. This is what is happening to the food in our body. So it is the breaking down of food, the complex food, the big food into simple ones. Okay? Using the chemical and mechanical transformations that we'll be discussing in this session. Okay, so later we will talk about the chemical transformation of food. How does the food is how is the food broken down chemically and how is the food broken down mechanically? Okay, the word chemical means the change in nature. When you say chemical, it means the change in nature. I'm just getting the laser pointer. So the chemical is the change in nature, whereas the mechanical means no changing in nature. For example, if I have a piece of paper, okay, and I burn this piece of paper, the paper becomes ashes. So this changes the nature of the substance of the material. So this is a chemical transformation of the paper, okay, and this happens also to our food. With the help of the digestive juices, our food, the food that we eat, is chemically transformed. It becomes smaller molecules. Whereas the mechanical transformation, when we say mechanical transformation, it means no change in the nature. For example, if I take the same piece of paper and I cut it with the scissors into smaller pieces, so it becomes or it remains a paper. So it was one big piece of paper and then it becomes or it is still a paper but with the smaller pieces. This is mechanical transformation. You have taken the principle of chemical and mechanical transformation in physics and chemistry in grade 7. So they are the same here. Okay, just we're applying them on digestion. So if I want to take an example of mechanical digestion on the food, it's like I'm chewing a piece of meat. So I take one piece of meat and then I start cutting it by my teeth. It becomes smaller pieces of meat. So the meat remains a meat. So there's no change in the nature of the substance of the food. So this is supposed to be a mechanical transformation. So the complex food is broken down in our digestive system into simple food. Okay, I will just put an illustration. Okay, so the complex food, imagine the complex food like a chain. Okay, كالمسبحة. So it is like a chain, a long chain. So this is the complex food. So after we eat this food and it passes through the digestive system where it is mechanically transformed into smaller pieces and then chemically transformed by the help of the digestive juices, these or this long chain of food becomes simple food. So it's like I'm bringing a scissors, okay, and I'm cutting the connection between these molecules and they become simple molecules. These simple molecules, those molecules, they pass to blood after, at the end of digestion, they go to blood, which we'll be discussing it later, okay, in later sessions, and this is the passing of this simple food from the digestive system, from the small intestine to blood. It is called absorption of food, okay, and after it goes to blood, it is supposed to be distributed to all body organs, okay. So the passing of the simple food from the small intestine, from the digestive system to the blood, it's called absorption. And this simple food, it has a name, we call it nutrients, okay, so we call it nutrients. Okay, let's continue. The digestive system, so it starts with the mouth. When we eat the food, we cut it by the teeth, and it mixes with saliva coming from the salivary glands, and then it passes to the esophagus, and then to the stomach, and when it passes to the stomach, later to the small intestine, then to the large intestine. So the small intestine has, or it is the last organ of digestion. The waste, okay, so after digestion, the waste products will pass through the large intestine, and the waste will go to the anus. Okay, we will be focusing on the three main organs: mouth, stomach, and small intestine, for a certain reason, because in the mouth there is a digestive juice, the same is in the stomach and in the small intestine. These three organs, okay, have digestive juices. So we will be focusing on these three organs, okay, and we will be listing the different digestive juices secreted by these organs, okay. So I will repeat. When we say mouth, esophagus, stomach, okay, the ones that I have circled, small intestine, large intestine, and anus, we call these organs digestive tube. It's called digestive tube. Why is it called digestive tube? Because it is the place where the food passes, the food and the waste pass, okay, so it's like a tube, okay, it's the pathway of the food and the waste. But I have other organs in the digestive system. For example, I will change the color. I have liver, I have pancreas, and I have, this is the gallbladder, okay. So at the small intestine, okay, at the beginning of the small intestine, the duct for the bile, okay, immerses. So ببين عندي at the beginning of the small intestine, the bile is connected to the small intestine. Same as the pancreas, it is connected to the small intestine. Okay, so, and the gallbladder, it is the site of storage of the liquid secreted by the liver. The liver secretes a liquid, it's called bile. Okay, bile, I will see it in the next slide. So it is stored in the gallbladder. Liver يعني الكبد. Liver for the sheep or the cow بيقولوا له بالعامية السوداء. Okay, pancreas it's the same. gallbladder اسمها المرارة بالعربي. Okay, so هي مطرح ما بيتخزن عندي storage of the liquid coming from the liver. Let's move to the next slide and see the table containing the different digestive juices. Okay, so the main three organs, the only three organs that has digestive juices, again, they are the mouth, the stomach, and the small intestine. They have digestive juices. So in the mouth, we have saliva, okay? In the stomach, we have the gastric juice. Saliva, it's like water, okay? It's neutral, it's like water. It has no taste. Stomach has the gastric juice. Stomach has the gastric juice. Gastric juice is acidic. It's very acidic. And the small intestine, actually, we have three juices in the small intestine. So we have the intestinal juice يلي هو the small intestine هي secretes it. We have the bile secreted by the liver, and we have a juice also secreted by the pancreas. So it is the pancreatic juice. So again, the mouth has saliva. We should memorize, okay, the digestive juices. At the end of the session, I will send you a PDF so that you can write it or print it out. Okay, so you have to study some of the information listed in this session. So we have the stomach has the gastric juice, while the small intestine actually has three juices. Okay, we have intestinal juice coming from the small intestine, we have bile coming from the liver, and the pancreatic juice from the pancreas. So, in your opinion, which of these three organs has or is considered as the main organ of digestion, okay, where most of the digestion occurs? So the one that has the biggest number of digestive juices, so it is the small intestine. Okay, the small intestine is the organ where most of the digestion occurs, and the small intestine is the organ where the food or the nutrients are absorbed, passes to blood. So it is at the level of the small intestine digestion ends. Okay, it starts in the mouth and it ends in the small intestine, and the food passes to blood at the level of the small intestine. Okay, so moving on to our last slide, we have a table showing mechanical and chemical digestion. Okay, we have a mouth, esophagus, stomach, and small intestine. If we start with the mouth, I will use the pointer. Okay, if we start with the mouth. Before starting with the mouth, let's put this rule. Okay, whenever we have a juice in the organ, for example, the mouth has a juice, the stomach has a juice, the small intestine has three juices. So whenever we have a juice, there is chemical digestion. Whenever we have a juice, there is chemical digestion. Okay, so in the mouth, we have chemical digestion by saliva. In the stomach, we have chemical digestion by the gastric juice. And in the small intestine, we have chemical digestion by the three listed juices, the pancreatic juice, the bile, and the intestinal juice. Whereas the esophagus does not have any juice, so it doesn't have any um, chemical digestion. Okay, so I will put and I will show you. So the mouth by saliva, esophagus does not have any chemical digestion, stomach by gastric juice, okay, by intestinal juice, pancreatic, and by the small intestine. Now we will see the mechanical digestion, okay. Mouth has the teeth, and the teeth will cut the food. It will not change the nature of the food, so it is considered as the mechanical digestion. Esophagus and small intestine, because they have a tube-like structure, they have the peristaltic movement. Do you know what's a peristaltic movement? The tube makes contractions. The tube has muscles, okay, circular and longitudinal muscles. So it makes contractions so that it makes the passing of the food faster and easier. Okay, I will give you an example in our daily life. If you have a toothpaste and you just, this is a toothpaste, it's like a tube-like structure, and you just shake it so that the toothpaste will go out of it. This is not gonna happen, right? You need to press, okay, on the other side of the opening, the opposite side of the opening, you need to press, and by pressing, the toothpaste will come from the other side of the end that you have pressed. So this is, it's like the peristaltic movement. The tube-like structures, the muscles that are found in the esophagus and the small intestine, they help the food to pass, okay, through the small intestine and through the esophagus. This is called peristaltic movement, and it does not change. It's called peristaltis or peristaltic movement. It doesn't change the nature of the food. It just helps or facilitate or make it easier for the food to pass. Okay, so finally in the stomach we have also some mechanical actions, okay, like mixing. It's the same as stirring or mixing or even churning. They have the same meaning, mixing of food. So the muscles of the stomach makes contractions, and these contractions I feel them, okay, whenever we are fasting. أكتر شيء لما نكون صايمين, whenever we're fasting بنحس ب contraction of the stomach. بس whenever the stomach is full, we do not feel these contractions, but they are happening. They are happening because whenever the food passes into the stomach, it is mixed. Okay, so it is mixed, or this helps in the digestion, mixing of food with the gastric juice. Okay, so that the food will break down. So this is the list of chemical and mechanical digestion in the digestive system. Okay, I need you to study everything that you are taking this. Try to follow step by step, and I'll be here for any of your questions. If you have anything, you can ask me, and stay safe, and I will see you next session hopefully.